Well, good morning. Welcome back. I'm super glad you're here. So one of the questions people asked me in the comments was, how do I get my child to memorize math facts, like the addition facts, when they're having trouble? Now, if you using mnemonic devices, if they are having trouble with times tables, you can use times tails, which I did use and I forget all about. But that is an option. But for addition, listen, so I have two children. One does not have an issue getting those math facts out. The second one, what I noticed, and it happened by pure accident, is, so take a look at this book. This is by JDA Learning, which she has a YouTube channel. I really like her stuff. I have her Elemental Phonics. I'll attach at the end. You can take a look at it. The video, it's one of my most popular videos on this channel. It's pretty good to teach them to read, but this is for math. And so how it starts is so I was doing this orally, even though it's meant to be done written, I was doing it orally with them. So this, it shows you the answers here, and then it has them without the answers. And basically you're going through, and every day you start with sums of 0, and it's addition. And it just goes through sums of 0, and then it starts on 1. So it really does a few days of each and really gets it in their head. But my point that I was making is that I was reading it orally to them and having them recite back the answers, and it just wasn't working. And then one time he saw it and looked at it, and even without writing, he was able to answer them a lot quicker. For some reason, maybe because when I say it, maybe it's like leaving his head, maybe he's distracted by it because there's not a mnemonic device attached to it. We are doing yes, no, maybe of different curriculum books I have used. Different books and curriculum books. Would I use them again? Would I buy them again? Someone also asked me another side note, another question is, between Abeka and BJU Press, who would I choose? I tend to take Abeka between that because, and then I was thinking, I could kind of show you in the BJU Press and the Abeka stuff I have, and you could decide for yourself, but I don't have that much of BJU Press. I have a few things, and one of them I love, and one of them I don't. But anyway, so that's something I could do in a future video if you wanted. So let's get to it. This is the Big Book of Useless Facts, which is brand new out at Barnes & Noble or whatever those bookstores are, but you can also get it at the library. And yeah, so let me show you inside. So it's kind of cool. So it covers a bunch of different topics, and like, it's just got random useless facts. Like, did you know small dogs pee upwards? I know, they pee upwards to like trick bigger dogs into thinking they are bigger than they are. So it's got nature, human body, places, prehistoric, history, culture, science, earth, and space. All random facts. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm big into, oh gosh, books that I can, pull out and read one thing a day or one fact a day. I love it. I love it. I don't do it enough, but I love it. Okay. This is focus on one of the 6 science curriculums that I am tackling this year. And it deals with the history of, this is astronomy. So this is their astronomy version. This is the K through 4. So you can do it anytime K through 4. And I really like that flexibility of anytime K through 4. Now, I didn't like it so far, but I'm only a third into it, fourth into it. I don't know, not that far into it. Okay, so after reading more of that book, Astronomy, it is very good. It's like the Real Science for Kids books where they take adult concepts and teach them to little kids. So for example, because I read a couple more chapters with the kids today, and in it we learned about Jovian planets and terrestrial planets, and how terrestrial planets are like Earth, and how Jovian planets are like Jupiter, and how there's 4 of each, I believe. So we learned quite interesting things, and then we went on to constellations. So this is a definite yes, and I look forward to reading all the other Focus On series for the Real Science for Kids, which of course when I get to them, I will show you inside them. And the reason I know is because the history of it's kind of boring. It's interesting that they have the history of the telescope and the history of that, but it's just a little dull. However, I was looking at future chapters, and it really goes into depth about the constellations, but then also about like Earth's neighborhood and about galaxies and about stars. So it really goes in deeper about that stuff. So this would be a maybe, because the problem is astronomy is not like huge on my list of things to cover science-wise, right? Because A, kids love it, and B, you can cover it in a variety of different ways just from a variety of different books, of which we have or get from the library. But it is, it's covering some cool things. The biggest star, the galaxy, which is one, yeah, galaxy. So Yeah, so I don't know. So this is a maybe at this point, but I will get back to you on it. But I do love real science for kids stuff. Now, I have 2 Evan Moores. This is an absolute no. This I would toss in the trash, only because it has so many school references that, like, my kids don't know a lot of this stuff, right? It just uses reference that aren't familiar to my kids. Like, oh, who'd you sit with at lunch today? And oh, did you pack your backpack for school? And oh, you have to go to a different classroom, stuff like that. So adding that, have to explain that on top of the vocabulary fundamentals, it's a no for me. However, this is amazing. Now, if you buy this, you have to get this cover, but it feels, I've showed you before, it's got the rule 1, rule 2, rule 3. So it's got all these grammar rules that are pretty easy. Like a sentence begins with a capital letter. So you're starting off easy and getting more complicated as you get through. Like the last rule would be, let's check it out since I don't know what it is yet. Use is with one and are with more than one. It took me, I was reading this sentence going, huh? I couldn't understand the sentence. So Jake is my friend, but Sam and Kim are friends. So are my friends. The clock is ticking. All the clocks are ticking. So plural, more than one. So kind of cool. Okay, let's talk Dr. Bonafide. Unfortunately, they're pricey and I have all 4. Unless you have a child who's super into bones, which for some reason I had hoped my children would be. And they are, like, they find it interesting, I guess. But it's got like the phalanges are what your fingers are. And then there's the distal, the instal, the different parts of your finger that I know that I don't think they know. And I'm not going to use my system, my mnemonic system, in order to get them to remember, because. But anyway, so if you like bones, it's an absolute yes. For me, would I do it again? I probably not, but it's a maybe because it's still kind of cool. So it gives you those glasses and you can look at 3D stuff in here. Yeah, so this one's all about the hand, arm, shoulder bones of the hand, arm, and shoulder. And then it's got bones of the whole body, but there's 4 books. So it splits them into 4. So I don't know what the rest are. Probably one skull. Yeah, some are legs. Your torso. There you go. I probably summed it all up for you. This is really good. These are pretty good. I have a couple of them. This is STEM starters for kids. So one of the ways to help your kids be really successful is help them deep dive into what they're super interested in, which if you have an autistic kid, if you have, sometimes they really are already super into stuff. But you know, kids in general can be into things, but really helping them deep dive into a topic and learning how to research that topic and find more information on that topic is supposed to really give them a leg up success-wise. So, because you're starting them off with an interest and with a passion, and it's easier to become successful when you have an interest and a passion, right? So let's talk geography, this activity book. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I have a little a geologist, except he's mostly interested in rocks and pebbles, which is super cool. Super cool, but this book, very good. Take a look at it. I want to say, I don't know, 6 to 8 could do it. It's kind of fun. I don't think we did it yet. I'm pretty sure we didn't do it. But I would buy it again, yes. And look what they have at the end. So they have the engineering, all those. I wish they had an architecture. I have a son who's interested in architecture. It's not as easy to find resources for architecture as it is to find things for other types of STEM, I've noticed. Okay, this is my first book about engineering. It's a no. It's like a coloring book. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, I guess. It's just, I don't know. It just has a lot of reading stuff to do, which is fine. It's just, it's not really an activity book, right? It's my first book about engineering, so I would say this is a no. 46 pages include realistic illustrations and easy to understand captions that explain how civil engineers build a bridge, structural engineers erect a skyscraper, and what environmental engineers do to protect our planet, how genetic engineers alter DNA, on and on and on. Yeah. Okay, this is a no. This is a no, which I wanted it to be a yes so much. Because, okay, so it's cool because it's cartoons, right? So I'm going to look for more. This is grades 4 through 6, so it's older, but vocabulary cartoon of the day by Funny Bone Books. By Funny Bone Books. So let's look at one. So this is ponderous. Dinosaurs plus rain equals easy drinking for us. So something that is ponderous is heavy and massive. Couldn't the dinosaurs be ponderous then? Like, is that not right? I don't know. So it's confusing me. Let's try another one. Oh, being a behemoth has its pros and cons. He's always picked first for football games, but he never wins at hide and seek. So a behemoth is something extremely large and powerful. A behemoth. So, I don't know. A couple of them I was like, This started off as a yes. This is my father's world. The chapter on Benjamin Franklin I summed up for my kids in with pictures so that we could memorize some of those facts because it was fascinating. It was fascinating. I loved it. So it's short chapters. It's not bad. So the first part of the book I really enjoyed. I enjoyed that it's like 2.5 pages, and then it's got a part 2 if we're still talking about someone like Christopher Columbus, all that stuff. Yeah, so very interesting, the stuff I learned. However, when we get to a lot of the places where they have, I don't know if here you call them Native Americans. In Canada, you call them Native Canadians, but I don't know if you call them Indians here or not anymore. So I don't exactly know that. But through here, reading it, sometimes a lot of atrocities happened on both sides, and they're a little hard to read about, and so I had to stop. It does warn you. It does say, okay, in this chapter, read through because there might be some parts to skip. And finally, after a couple stories in halfway through, I was like, no, I know, realism. I was just like, no, a little too real for me. So this is Abraham Lincoln. I don't know which curriculum recommended this book. It's a great read on Abraham Lincoln. It's a great read. I don't think you can get it at the library, though. That's unfortunate. That's the intro. I did not read the intro. I never read an intro. I've never read an intro. Oh, no. Oh no, but reading through about his life, about how deep in the woods and how he was honest Abe and old Abe and how he met his wife, I think her name was Mary, and how Mary passed, but then he met his second wife. I love that his second wife came. He went away and he came back with his second wife who came with a bunch of children, a bunch of furniture, and she just moved in and made his house, which was getting empty and I assume dirty, a clean house again, and was really nice to Abe. And they had some laughs together. Yeah, and then Abe went off to make his way in the world. And it was just an interesting story. It was an interesting story. Yeah, just the summation of his life, the highlights, and not his death. Not his death, so I guess it would have been fine reading about his death. Though I kind of know how it happened. So that's okay. But anyway, a good book. It's just Abraham Lincoln by, I can't pronounce that person. So I'll put it on the screen for you, whoever those people are. They wrote a good book. All right. Thank you for tuning in. So this would be a yes. And thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you again. Can you say, please like and subscribe?
Please like to like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.